Hello everyone, I am Tosin Oloyade. Welcome to today's Spring Broadcast. Today's discussion is a very short one and it's about attractiveness to the opposite sex. But today we have decided to streamline it to be from his own point of view. And what's me today is Mr. Introduce yourself, please.
Okay, I'm Olusegun Abolowodi. I work in the 5 boroughs. I work through the 5 boroughs of New York. I'm a construction inspector. So I travel throughout the 5 boroughs of New York almost every week. And
5 boroughs of New York every week?
Yeah, so I get to see places and different stuff. Basically, my job is just all about like looking at different structural plans and drawings and trying to like look forward and learn new stuff every day.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. And my first question to you is, as a person, what attracts you to the opposite sex?
To say first, I'll first start by like the charisma first. But you know, like generally, they say charisma is like a magnet, and it's generally believed like for you to be attracted to a person first, it has to do with the physical appearance. So I'll just go with the crowd, like the physical appearance first before any other stuff comes in.
So what you're saying is the physical appearance first, the charisma follows. Is that what you mean?
Actually, what I mean by like the charisma and the physical appearance, because now like majorly now like we could like try to like infuse charisma with physical appearance, because charisma majorly like the way people kind of define charisma is how you carry yourself, like your composure, like you know, like what you kind of like you're made of before you see any stuff, like what can people kind of read about you before you start talking.
Oh, even before you open your
mouth to say like, you know, like it's a special charm. Like people refer to it as a special charm that kind of magnets people. So I could always say the charisma first.
Well, then that means we can talk about the confidence that they see around you.
Yeah.
What your aura says about you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And talking about the physical, you might be talking about probably the height, the skin color, the hair color, the size, the body size, and the statistics. You know, when it comes to women, you know, they say there's a gender statistics, 36, 28, 38. Is that what you mean?
Actually, talking about the statistics, I'm going to confess, I don't really know, I've never heard about the statistics.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
But when you talk about, okay, fine, now, mostly like, when you talk about like you could say, okay, the skin color, okay, the height might not just be a problem. And majorly, I think, identifying, getting attracted to somebody and like goes beyond like the physical appearance now, because it has like a lot of like qualities like beneath it, and really some stuff has to be really like exposed and seen before you can really get attached to somebody, so you could really know who you're going with and where you're currently standing. So not just physical appearance, everybody looks good. So
good, everybody looks good, which means beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. But having said it all, what are the major qualities? You know, we've said a whole lot of things, but there are major ones. What are the major ones that you tend to look out for? Okay,
the major qualities generally I tend to look out for is like, number one, we'll start with the character. Like, character actually isn't something that you could know of or you could see in a person the first day. It has to do with time, and you know, having a strong character tells a lot, because like generally in this 21st century, they say talent, like regardless of how smart you are, how intuitive you are, like how cerebral you are, like if the character doesn't come with it, it's not a full package. You're just standing alone for like the main time, then the character keeps you standing, like standing out for forever.
I caught something. Until you have the character, the package is not full.
It's not complete. Like, you could be smart, you could be intelligent, you could be brilliant, you could be hot, but like
the man may have 6 packs.
6 packs, and
but like, you are concerned about all those things together with the character.
Yeah, the character stands first, because it's kind of like your character tells a lot about you, and like it opens doors. I believe character opens doors for people, because it has to do with majorly 21st century has to do with referral. So you don't really know everybody, but somebody can say, I believe in you, you have the right character, he has the talent, he could move it, and that's it.
Thank you so much. You have said a lot in a little while. 21st century and 21st century is about referral.
Yeah.
And only your character can make them to refer you.
Yeah.
That's deep. But I don't want us to dwell on that. I hope viewers can be able to relate that to their own personal situations too. I'd like to also ask you, what turns you off in the opposite sexes?
Actually, you know, I believe we have like different type of people depending on what you kind of based on. We have optimists, we have realists, we have pragmas, we have feminists, and the remaining. You know, there's this great misconception about like I'm a feminist, and people, the way like females they define feminism kind of differs in some people. Some, if you relate with some females, they'll just tell you feminism is just about like, okay, you knowing that this is not restricted to the male gender alone. Only the male gender can do this. This is not meant for only the male gender. Me as a female, I could also reach this height. I could also attain this kind of position and all that respectively. But like, you know, some people kind of define feminism as a kind of war against the male gender.
Oh no.
And I kind of see it, I kind of see like they believe it's kind of gender biased. Like I mean no like being like insultive to the female gender, because I believe it's the strongest gender. So and looking at it generally, like you see like women in like various aspects of like life doing great, and like they still believe like it's not a war. Like if you speak to those that like they're far ahead and they've seen stuff, they will be like, it's all about like, okay, knowing that I as an individual, I could reach any height like I feel or I want to attain, regardless of my gender. I could achieve anything, I could dream of anything, and I could have a vision about anything. I could lay that into missions and it could be accomplished. So that's just it generally.
What you are telling us now, I mean myself and the viewers, is that what turns you off in the opposite sex, in women, is when they see feminism as war against the male gender.
Yeah, war against the male gender. How like them not kind of like seeing it as like, okay, it's not a competition, but it's like more of like a it's more like a challenge.
So you cannot cope with anybody, I mean any woman who sees the male part, the male counterpart, as somebody she has to compete with, she has to be in war with.
Yeah, no, I can't cope with that.
Okay, well, to me, in the real sense, I don't think it should be war against the other, you know? We are not meant to compete with ourselves. Okay, you are very on point. So, what is the difference between the olden days relationship and the modern day relationship?
Okay, fine. Like as for what I could say, like now, like basically now, like that's changed. Like I wasn't back then in the day. I'm a product of this current generation.
Okay.
And you know, back then, like you could only hear people like that have been back then, like they saw every stuff, like they could tell you like, okay, fine. During our days, like you see a guy that hasn't made much, or like he's trying to like get up on his own, and he finds it like a female, like they could really put heads together and try to like, okay, this is my vision, this is your vision, coming together, merging it together, and like they be through ups and down. Like that's why I was told, I wasn't there. They be through, yeah. Right? That's why majorly is like when you see on just social media, they tell you like, if you take advice, like marital advice from like the African mothers, they will tell you it's all about suffering. That I suffered with my husband, I suffered with this, I got this, you know, all those stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this our generation, like for now, like nobody, they tell you I've suffered like enough in my father's house. Like why must I join you to build you? Why can't you build yourself? Let me build myself. You know, it's more about the individual now in this generation. Like
having no support. They don't.
There is support. Like I can't marginalize. That's what I'm trying to like. Okay, from my own perspective, I won't say like, okay, you can't always find somebody that always support you through your visions, your aspirations.
Well, commonly speaking,
like it's majorly sort out yourself let me sort out myself. Then
Wow.
if there is like, it's more like if there's any kind of be like imagine, okay, this is the point I am currently in life, this is the point you are currently in life, bring it down to the table. Where do you want to get to? Okay, this is where I want to get to. And trying to like make visions. So people here really like, they feel like you have to like I'm talking about this current generation now, like you have to get yourself sorted out, know where you're going, know your drive, have your visions, have your dreams stated, and know where you're heading for. I mean, sorry, where you're headed for. So that just is it.
So commonly speaking, in our time, in this generation, they believe that the guy has to sort himself, the woman has to sort herself, then the two of them can bring what they both have to the table.
Yeah, that's
unlike the old times when women don't care if as long as they have it, they want to give it to the man and they do it together. In fact, some will give it to the man and say it is originally from the man. So that's like a difference.
You know, the mentality now, it's kind of different. So in as much like they believe this is the computer age, a lot of stuff has changed, and change is constant and is inevitable, and we must always like, we mustn't be kind of myopic at the way we look at or view things. And in as much as all these are going on, like we still have people that build dreams for other people. We still have people that tell you, if not for this person, like I don't really know, I don't really know where I can like be. And you know, you still have people that tell you like this person came, everything changed for good, and it's a story for them. So,
that's a good one. There is something that I've also observed, which I don't think, like you said, I wasn't in the past generation.
Okay.
But of course, we have had stories, we have seen our parents, and we have uncles and aunties. There is something that I see that it's happening now. I don't know why it is happening. It's called cohabitation. You see, a man and a woman, they want to live together first, have kids, before they now decide to take each other to the altar. What is your own stand? Do you think that, because I don't know why, sometimes, you know, some people feel, why do I have to, well, I must have had 2 kids before I decide whether I want to marry you. And they may not even eventually marry. They say after 2 kids, they say, oh, they are not compatible. And why did you even decide to live together in the first place? I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Tosin.
Yeah.
The way I kind of view that stuff is that me as a person, like talking from my own perspective now, I don't want to have any child or have children out of wedlock, number one, because for me to like say I want to like, okay, finally commit to somebody, that means we could have come a long way. There are a lot of things that could have been put in place, like cohabitating, having kids for somebody that is not kind of like, no legal stuff is not bounded or is not binded by any legal stuff. To me, it's kind of wrong, because number one, he or she can wake up and just tell you like it's over, like take away the kids. You know, it's so funny. We've heard about different stories, and like it's now compatibility comes in place, where like I believe compatibility should have been in place before like those kids are like before those kids start coming. And so and you know, like looking at it on my own view, like based on my own perspective, I don't think it's ideal like having kids out of wedlock, and like at the end of the day people split, and they give you tend to allow the kids go through emotional trauma, like you have to go to your dad, and like because of the split it's going to affect those kids emotionally, and like they might not get to develop like the way they should have been, like strong emotionally, and like know that okay, they got mommy and daddy under the same roof, trying to put them together and like walk them through the storms of life.
On our part, when we take that kind of decision, it's like we are being selfish, because we don't count the cost. I mean, because it's a risk. It may not lead to marriage. We have some that, of course, quite number of some that have led to marriage. But what if they don't lead to marriage? So you are putting the children at risk.
Yeah, Tosin, like the children are going to be at risk because majorly, like if it doesn't lead to marriage, one, that means somebody has to be in custody of those, like those kids has to be like with someone. Like imagine the kids are with the mom and the dad gets married to like another person eventually, and the attention like is gonna be divided. Like when the kid needs the dad most, like once they like okay, they want to have a father in their life, the presence of the father in their life, like okay, I want to tell daddy this, I want to tell daddy I want to go to this, I want to tell daddy I want this. It's no more like you don't really have like the first hand this thing access. I call it first hand. Like you have to go through channels. You have to talk to mommy, or sometimes you have to try to get him on phone and he isn't going through or isn't picking his calls. And like you see, like when other kids, like it might get to affect them in schools and in their psychologically, and they might just feel like they're left alone in the world, and like it's always mommy. And so basically what I kind of advise, I won't do it for me.
Okay,
because I won't do it for me, because not because I'm not sure of what I'm about to do, but the other person might decide to wake up and just change their mind that I don't think this can work anymore. And majorly, you know, where like the kids have to be in custody of the mom until they are 18 before they could decide where they have to live. So losing those kids, and like in the future they're gonna blame you, because it's going to be a mistake. They're going to tell you like, what were you guys thinking about?
Somebody told me something, and the person said, well, to her it is really good because it is a way to test the fertility of both parties. I mean, the fertility of the man and the fertility of the woman. So if they come and live together for, like, let's say about 7 years, and they don't have kids for each other, then they are very sure that maybe something is wrong with one person, and at that point they can easily part ways. Should it be a good reason for them to consider that option?
Okay, Tosin, talking about the fertility now, like we have I believe the medical line has been very much advanced, and they do fertility tests, and a lot of tests are being carried out before you actually get married, to like know what's up with this person I'm going to get married to, I want to spend the rest of my life with. And now I believe that way you try to talk about is just the old way of like they be like, there's a tag, they be like, let me see what I want to like buy first, so let me kind of
do talk about sexual compatibility,
like let me know what this kind of person is all about, so that I don't end up like, I don't want to have a like it's a black market. I don't really want to like end up not knowing who this kind of person is, on like, you know, all those kind of stuff. But I believe at the end of the day, like they've tried it like back then, it's kind of, I believe it's a kind of 50-50 chance, and like because at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, one party suffers a lot. That's if there is no like a strong legal binding like surrounding every stuff. And you know, like when in the process of like, okay, like you want to test this person, you know, some people go as far as like, okay, maybe if I get pregnant for him, and maybe he's going to change his mind, and it's going to hasten, or it's going to fasten like the marriage process. To me, I'm a kind of person like, maybe you getting pregnant, or maybe like we have a lot of baby daddies that like they don't really care, like they could take care of those kids and be like, don't worry, I'll take care of my kid, but I don't want to marry you. You know, it's gonna be so plain, and it's gonna be like, you feel like at that point you feel like you made the greatest mistake in life.
Wow.
Because like you just feel like, now I believe it was back then, when you get pregnant, you don't want to have kids around. You just be like, you guys should just tie it up and just one place or so. But now in the society, like people don't really see it. It's like a norm now. They don't really see it as a big deal, like having kids around. They just be like, don't worry, so if I can take care of them, send them to the best of schools, and I'm there for them, anything they need, they call on daddy, and it's fine. So having that way, to me, I don't really think it's advisable. I don't really think it's ideal, because testing for fertility, anything can happen at any time. Like we still have people, like we have a lot of people on social media with different stories about how this, like, okay, I got pregnant for him, promised me he was going to marry me, and all of a sudden he disappeared for years.
The other way around. what point do you feel that is right enough for you to be fully committed to a relationship, or probably to take the relationship to the level of marriage?
Basically, that's a big question because I feel like it has to do with the readiness of both party, and you know, when you finally can conclude within yourself like this is based on like we've been coming for years, not for years now, basically, but like with the short time, like what's like how people like the level of understanding that exists between the both parties, and
Okay.
the communication is also important. Communication at different, because we have communication at different level, like in different situation, different time, how you guys can communicate, the level of understanding, and basically I believe like with your character, the level of understanding, the drive, having the right drive, and very intuitive at situations, like it's enough. Like it gets to a particular point you feel like, yeah, I think we're at this border, like we have to cross to the next border, so you surely like the next thing to do, and like you guys sit there and talk about, that means vision merging comes in, and okay, this is the plan I have for the future, what are your plans, basically like that's where I can feel like the issue could come in, because when we have different plans and we don't, the visions are merging, we can't merge those visions together, it's going to be a problem, because now we're trying to raise a family, and like one person like one person career is going to like slow down a little bit for the other, because one person will probably going to be involved, but like the pace you're taking as a single person is going to be different as a married or as an engaged person, because you have other commitment also.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shegun, and it's a wonderful thing to have you here, and I hope that viewers at home have been able to relate with all the things that you have said, because you have said a lot in this very little time. Thank you so much, everybody, for staying tuned to today's spring broadcast. So as a bye now, but please remember to like. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, make comments, and share. Bye.